Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Between the Lines broadcast of high school football. You have two members of the coach's box here.
Arguably the best two members of
That's right.
Of the show here.
So thank you guys for tuning in to our broadcast of high school football. Here we are at St. Pius X High School and at Father Dalton Stadium. And we're going to be showing you guys the Jamboree here between St. Pius X, Perryville High School, and Crystal City High School. The three teams getting together for a little preseason action to kind of knock the rust off and be ready for the start of the regular season. So I'm going to turn it over here to Coach Zac McVey and get us going, bud.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's just an exciting time right now. We're in Jamboree. This is right before week one, and this is exactly what you want to have happen at the start of the school year. So just talking a little bit about both of the teams that you are going to watch. First this evening, you have the host school, St. Pius X High School, taking on the Perryville Pirates. So what's going on right now is it is not a regular game format. This is going to be a Jamboree. So we do not know, and there won't be necessarily a home team and a visiting team. They're going to be on one side of the field. And from what we are or have been told, I believe they're going to get somewhere around the vicinity of 15 to 18 plays on offense and 15 to 18 plays on defense. And however the coaching staffs are going to split time between the varsity and junior varsity players, that is up to each team and each program. But what we wanted to do first here is kind of give you guys a preview of this first matchup. So we'll just go ahead and call it the visiting team since we are here at Festus, Missouri at St. Pius X High School. The Perryville Pirates, they are actually, Coach Miller, they are newcomers into the I-55 conference.
Nice.
Yep, so they are replacing Valley Catholic. Valley Catholic is going down south, joining one of the MAFC divisions. I want to say it's the middle division if that's red. I believe that's going to be with the Park Hill Central Rebels and some of those other schools. And so Perryville used to be in that conference, and they decided that they were going to come up since they are a part of the JCAA and all of the other sports. They said, hey, let's come on up for football, and all of the other programs said, let's do it. So they are officially new members to the I-55 conference. Last year, Perryville finished the season with a 2-8 record. They are a Class 4 school, so coming into the I-55, which is predominantly small schools, we're talking Class 1 and Class 2, and you have, I believe, another Class 3 school in Herculaneum. Perryville comes in as a Class 4 opponent, so that is going to be something new for all of the other I-55 schools. Crystal City was replaced by Bayless, and we'll talk a little bit about Crystal City when they arrive and they have their matchup later on this evening. But talking a little bit about Perryville, they were decimated by injuries last year. Talking to and hearing a little bit about the program from head coach Brent Roth, he had said, man, by week 2, week 3, they had so many injuries, and they were season-ending injuries. It was something that the Perryville Pirates really hadn't had a chance to experience before, and so they are hoping to bounce back off of the 2-8 campaign that they had last year. Talking a little bit about the host school, St. Pius X Lancers. The Lancers had another 8-win season, tying the most wins in program history last year, I believe, for the second time, maybe in 2 years, if not 3 years, talking with head coach Dan Oliver. The St. Pius Lancers went 8-3, and they were 5-0 in the I-55 conference. So they were conference champions last year. And if you remember anything about that, how one of the games in which they were able to win was on late heroics right here at this very field against rival Jefferson R7.
Great game, by the way.
It was a very, very exciting game. It was a fun game to watch. So talking a little bit about the St. Pius X Lancers, they return several key members and a plethora of seniors. They are senior loaded with about 15, 16 seniors. Some key contributors that they are going to have to try and replace is do-it-all running back, linebacker Nate Rubel, who is up at NIU, that's Northern Illinois University. They're going to have to replace their quarterback from last year, Colin Smith. They're going to have to replace their kicker and punter, Logan Richardson, who is also Jacobson, who is also at NIU, Northern Illinois University. And they are hoping to do that with a variety of players. You have from one Smith at quarterback to another. James Smith enters his junior season, and he will be the starting quarterback for the Lancers. I know he came in a couple series last year at the varsity level for St. Pius and did a really good job. Coach Oliver and the rest of the staff are pretty high on what James can do, as he is a faster version of his older brother. I think he has a cannon for an arm, is what Coach Oliver had said. Then you have a variety of running backs that you're going to see probably this evening with seniors Austin McGuckin. Dabrian Moss is another senior. You're going to have a sophomore in Justin Lane, number 23. And there's going to be some other players that of note that we're going to see throughout the game, assuming that they open up the playbook, which they may not, but they might. 81 Drew Merciel is a senior that they are high on at receiver. 86 Connor Hamilton as well. So there is a lot of senior leadership that Coach Oliver and the rest of the Lancer coaching staff is looking to see what's going to happen as they start this preseason game. And for the Perryville Pirates, Coach Brent Roth is going to rely on some seniors as well. And the thing about Perryville, they had a lot of guys that had an opportunity at sophomore year, junior year, with an ability to get some extra plays in. So you're talking about some of the seniors and players for the Perryville staff this year that they are high on is going to be number 1, Ben Hotop. Hotop comes back as a running back and linebacker. You have Tyler Ryan. He's going to be a running back and cornerback. You have Ethan Blythe. He is a tight end and safety. And then you also have Cooper Hudson. He's a running back. So we'll see. I'm curious to see what the type of offenses that we are going to witness this evening. Most of the time in a Jamboree setting, players don't necessarily like, or coaches don't necessarily like to show any wrinkles or new type of plays that they've been working on. It's normally a vanilla type of exchange with the running game, passing game, but we will get to be able to have a look at the St. Pius X Lancers, Perryville Pirates, and later on in the evening, the Crystal City Hornets. So, Coach Miller, what are you looking forward to as we're not opening up the season, but what we are doing is we're getting an opportunity to see some Friday Night Light football? Well,
I mean, for these kids, it's, obviously for seniors, it's a really big deal. They, that's what they're looking forward to. It's the end for them. But when you're a coach and you're trying to make sure that you're ready to go, the great thing about Jamborees is the ability to kind of run through some stuff, a little bit more game-like. It's one thing to be doing things in practice. It's another thing to be actually doing them in a game-like situation, and not just with each other. Kids know each other. They know tendencies or whatever, or the playbook. Mm-hmm. Now you're doing it against another school. And
I think what's probably going to happen, and one of the reasons why you have jamborees, whether it's in football or basketball or baseball, is you are trying to knock out the nerves before you go into week 1. So I kind of have an expectation of we will probably see a lot of laundry on the field tonight, and that's just to be expected. You're probably going to see several false starts, or whether it's from the line or maybe even from the skill guys out wide, and that's to be expected. These are things that here we are. We're really only a couple weeks in, and outside of St. Pius, these boys, both at Perryville and Crystal City, I believe they haven't started school yet. So they're still kind of in summertime mode. They're either getting up early, maybe for practice in the morning, trying to beat the heat, or maybe they're practicing in the evening. So their routines really haven't necessarily started yet with getting acclimated back into whether it's football and whether it is school as well. So I think we'll see probably a lot of nerves, but Coach, I'll ask you this question. As a head coach, what are some of the key things in a jamboree that you really are looking forward to trying and basically viewing?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of I'm really a secretive guy about my playbook, but I like to make sure that we get a few reps and different things. So if I'm looking, I want to see what my kids know, where they're at, where we need to go from here. So it's just a really good thing for the schools to be able to do, for not only for football, for basketball and other sports as well, because I know we have other fall sports that are starting up, doing jamborees either today or tomorrow. So it's good for the kids. It really is.
And maybe, you're trying to solidify some lineups. Maybe you have some position battles, and you're really just trying to see what they can do in a live setting. They've hit on each other. They've beat on each other for the last couple weeks, and they're ready just to go and really hit a completely different person. As we're going to get started here, it looks like Perryville is going to start on offense, and St. Pius is going to start on defense. Crystal City has arrived, and so they are going to be on the other end of the end zone. St. Pius is going to have their prayer, and they're also going to have their. We're going to take a quiet time right now.
Let us enter this competition with the spirit of sportsmanship, also respect for members of the opposing team. We ask you, Father, to bless each one of us, especially the players, coaches, and officials. Keep us under the protection of your Son, Jesus Christ, and help us to be aware of his presence with us in the game. Amen. St. Pius X. Pray for us.
So after the traditional prayer here at Father Dalton Stadium, we are going to go ahead and...
we'll take a break, and we'll be right back with some action.
I'm the latest hashtag challenge, and everyone on social media is trying me. I'm trending so hard that hashtag common sense can't keep up.
This is gonna get tens and tens of views. But if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, you could be left to pay for this yourself.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
All right, so we are live here between the lines here at Father Dalton Stadium in Festus, Missouri, broadcasting the St. Pius X Perryville and Crystal City Jamboree. As we are about to get started here, Perryville will start the game on offense at the St. Pius 40-yard line. And this game, this Jamboree style, is just going to be a series of plays. There's no actual game clock. There's no play clock. As number 7, Aiden McGarvey, is going to take the snap. That's going to be a handoff to number 8. Going to be stopped on the play by, looks like, number 9. That is Danny DeGear that's number 6, James Smith.
Quarterback. Making the play.
So right out of the gate here, you see a handoff by the Pirates for no gain. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10. McGarvey gets a snap. He's going to drop back to pass. Looks right, looks left, holds it down. He pulls it. He's going to go ahead and run, and he's going to get pushed down on the play by number 1, Austin McGuckin, and that'll bring up a 3rd down for the Perryville Pirates.
Yeah, good coverage downfield right there, and then they just forced the quarterback out of the pocket and made a little bit happen, but not enough for first down.
So it's going to bring up a 3rd and long for Perryville. We have 2 receivers out to the right side, 1 out to the left. Split back to the left side. Quarterback gets the pass. We're going to have a handoff to number 8. That's Tyler Ryan. He's going to be stopped on the play by a slew of Lancers led by number 5, it looked like Dabrian Moss. That'll bring up a 4th down, 4th and short for Perryville.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for it.
Well, of course, in the Jamboree, in the Jamboree setting like this. Now, the thing is, I mean, you have your entire playbook if you want to run something right here, because it's a Jamboree style, it's no harm, no foul. But as Perryville looks to set up in the same formation, we're going to have a pitch out to the left-hand side. It's going to be stopped on the play. That is going to be short, so that will be a turnover on downs. Look to be number 4, Matt Mariani, and I believe number 6, James Smith, in on the stop. So with the Jamboree rules here, they are going to go back, I believe, to the 40-yard line and start again. So after 4 plays, Perryville's unable to pick up a first down. And if you are St. Pius, Coach Miller, you probably like your defense that first series.
Yeah, so far, I mean, you're looking at the coverage is good. They're getting pressure. They're getting in the backfield. They're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, and that's what you want as a football coach.
So as Perryville enters their second series of the evening, we'll see what type of adjustments they're going to go ahead and make as they switch up their formation now. We have receivers out wide to the left and to the right. We're going to have a play-action pass, roll out to the right. That's going to be batted down on the play by, looks like, number 86, Connor Hamilton. Boy, Perryville almost came up with a nice little pitch and catch there.
Yeah, but Connor made a nice little play to get back and showed off a little speed to recover and ended up making a really good play, knocking the ball down.
Mm-hmm. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for Perryville. I believe this is about their 6th play of the evening. 2nd and 10. Looks like we have number 1, Ben Hotop, back, and number 5, Rylan Graham, in the backfield for the Pirates. Number 5 coming in, checking in a quarterback. Nowhere to go. It's going to be brought down on the play. Sacked for no gain. Looked like number 23. That is Justin Lane, a sophomore linebacker for the Lancers, in on the stop.
Yeah, and Justin's the kid who is trying to fill in for Nate Rubel, and that's a big hole to fill, and he looked like he's gonna be able to make some plays there.
Yeah, definitely big shoes to fill for the Division I linebacker, all-state linebacker, running back. And what you've seen for the Lancers, you've seen a lot of pressure both on up the middle from D tackles and from the D ends. As we're going to have a drop-back pass. It's going to be almost picked off by number 5. That was Dabrian Moss in on the stop, and he is beside himself right now thinking that he might have had a pick 6.
Well, I know Dabrian's got some good hands. He's a multi-sport athlete. And he's going to be talking. He'll see me in the hallway and go, "Coach, I should have had that one."
So that'll bring up 4th and long for the Pirates. Boy, Perryville has some really big linemen. Looks like number 67, that's Mason Cochran. He's about 6'3", 305 out at that right tackle position. And, I mean, there's some big bodies on this field.
They definitely have the size. I'm sure that they'll get some coaching down and they'll be able to compete and be pretty good.
We have a sack on the play by the Lancers. That looks like number 56, Alex Moises, in on the sack. And we're going to have our first flag on the play, and that is going to be a taunting penalty for the Lancers.
Yeah, you really can't celebrate after making a play like that.
Yeah.
Alex is an emotional kid, so I'm sure he was fired up, and
Well, you're probably thinking, hey, it's a jamboree. I can get away with it this week. I need to get out of my system now, right?
Yeah, and as Coach Oliver's over there having a conversation with him right now, and I don't know if I'd want to be Alex at that point, especially when you have a fourth and long and get a sack, and now you give him a first down.
Right. Yeah, it may not be a very good practice.
Jamboree is a good time to fix these things.
Yep, but you like to see that excitement out here from the high school guys and for a senior. As we have a fly sweep here, it's going to be number 27 on the run. Number 27, that is Cameron Young, strung out, stopped on the play by looked like number 16, Owen Moss, and also I believe number 1, Austin McGuckin.
Several kids for the Lancers have been in on a lot of plays. They're doing a really good job of pursuing the ball and really swarming. And I'm sure Coach Oliver is very happy with how the defense is playing right now, outside of a penalty that gives up a first down. But good things right now for the Lancers.
Yeah, you see some athleticism and some speed, not only east and west, but north and south.
Yeah.
As we might have a blitz here. So we have a handoff to number 34. That's going to be Brett Bonnert, the sophomore running back, in almost on the halfback draw. It's going to be enough for a first down for the Pirates. And we have a mass substitution for Perryville. Bring up a 1st and 10 at about we'll call it the 15-yard line.
Well, they're bringing all of their line out.
Looks almost like they're bringing in some JV players. So we have, looks like 15. That is Cole Lane. He is a sophomore. We have number 20 in the backfield also. That's Barrett Wheeler. As we're going to have a handoff to number 20. Good for a medium gain. And Perryville, after that penalty, they've got a few things rolling.
Well, I think I'm sure their coach is understanding that St. Pius is being very aggressive, so the draw play really kind of caught them off guard, and that allowed them to be able to pick up the first down.
So you have 2 receivers split out to the right side, 1 out to the left. Shotgun formation. Pistol. Handoff to number 20. It's going to be stuffed right at about the line of scrimmage. Once again, that is Smith and McGuckin. I believe that's number 60. Alan Reed also in on the stop.
And I think Justin Lane was also in there.
That's what you want to see if you're Coach Dan Oliver. You want to see swarm tackling.
Absolutely.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3 situation inside the 10-yard line for Perryville.
Still can get a first down.
Going to have a play-action pass out to the right side. Number 45 is going to fumble the ball. St. Pius is going to recover it. Number 45, Wyatt Schrepp, caught the ball out into the flat, was stripped on the play.
I believe Drew Merciel was the one who stripped the ball by, trying to get his hands on the ball. That's what you got to do.
And so in this Jamboree setting, Perryville's going to reset all the way back to the 40-yard line after the turnover. So you've had a turnover on downs for the Lancers, and then you've actually had a strip fumble turnover. So other than that penalty, that personal foul that they took, they've looked pretty well on defense.
Yeah, I'd say that, again, Coach Oliver's probably going to be happy. There's going to be a couple adjustments they need to make.
Pitch out to the left side. Number 20 still on his feet. That is Barrett Wheeler with a nice run on first down. It's going to pick up at about 12, 13 yards. This will be good enough for a Perryville first down.
And I'm going to say Coach Roth's probably really happy about the blocking right there. I mean, you talk about making adjustments and really trying to step up and make plays. That's what you want to see.
Yes, definitely. Cutback lanes have been pretty good right now as we have number 34, that is Brett Bonnert in the pistol formation. Number 12 on the rollout pass out to the right-hand side. Corner route. It's going to go just outside the grasp of number 2. That is Chase Richardett, a sophomore receiver.
James Smith was in on the pressure right there to get a little heat on the quarterback and cause that throw to be just a little bit too far.
And what I'm seeing, if we're going to have any type of criticism right now for the Lancers on defense, is that the corners and safeties have allowed receivers to get behind them
Yes.
a couple of times so far. So we have a missed snap here, and referees are just going to go ahead and blow the whistle dead.
That's so the coaches don't get tackled. Yeah, we don't want anybody hurt, and that includes the coaches.
Exactly. So we have another set of substitutions, or are we going to have a water break timeout?
It's either that or we're flip-flopping offense and defense.
See, that's the thing right now about jamborees.
It's whatever the rules that they all came up with. We're just living in their world right now.
It is out the window. There's no play clock. There's no game clock, and as soon as you find out, we'll find out. So we'll be surprised together with what goes on right now. And it looks like, yeah, they are going to flip. St. Pius is going to now start their 18 plays on offense, and Perryville will go ahead and switch sides to the defensive portion of the field. So I'm curious to see St. Pius offense with all these senior returners and really returning running backs. I'm curious to see if Coach Oliver and his staff opens up the playbook early, or if they're just going to be vanilla.
Well, and I'm curious to see how James steps in to fill his brother's role at quarterback. I know James can throw. Colin was a very good runner. I thought Colin made some good plays throwing the ball, but James, I've seen him play JV games, and he can wing it.
So St. Pius takes the first snap in a fullback handoff that's going to go to Lane on the carry. Good enough for about a yard and a half.
I believe number 23 got him.
Number 23, that is Daniel Aguilar, the senior linebacker. St. Pius with their second play, handoff up to the left side to number 5, Debrin Moss. Stopped by a host of Pirates. Good enough for about a 3 or 4 yard gain.
I know one thing: if you're in a dogfight, you definitely don't want to be around a bunch of Pirates.
As the Lancers come to the ball, they are still in the wishbone formation. Receivers out both to the left and right side. We're going to have sweep to the right. It's going to have cutback by number 1, Austin McGuckin. And you have a nice swarm tackle in on the stop here for the Pirates. Look like number 23 among one of the hosts of the Pirates. Once again, that's Daniel Aguilar.
He seems like he's got a nose for the ball. He's getting in there.
Good reads by Perryville. It's going to bring up a 4th and long for the Lancers.
I want to remind everybody, we have the scoreboard up here and there just so everybody knows who's playing, but we're not really keeping score, and nobody's scored anyway, so everything's good.
James Smith rolls out to the left side. He's going to look down into the flat. That's going to be caught by number 1, Austin McGuckin, still on his feet. Finally, still going. Finally brought down. It looked like number 8 had his shoestrings there for a long time. That's Tyler Ryan.
And he was finally brought down by 68.
And number 68, that is Caden Morrison, the 6'6", 215-pound offensive and defensive lineman.
That's a big kid right there.
Very big. So that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 for the Lancers. Nice little rollout pass for the Lancers out into the flat. Something simple that you like to see.
Well, especially to get Smith going.
Wishbone formation. Going to have a handoff. Handoff, it looked like, to the fullback. That's Justin Lane.
That's Debrin Moss this time.
Debrin Moss, okay.
Yeah, faked it.
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
faked me out.
One fake, and then a handoff to the other fullback, be Debrin Moss, senior.
So running the triple option, it looks like, out of the wishbone formation is St. Pius. It's going to be a nice pickup. It'll be about 5 yards on the run. So we have a couple subs coming in. That's number 8, Roland Creed for the Lancers. And number 11, Chase Watercutty. Number 7, Nolan Sipple, takes the handoff to the right side. It's going to be brought down by number 1, Ben Hotop.
Good
and
enough.
that is,
Good enough for Lancer first down.
Lancer first down. So, Chris, what are you seeing so far out of the Lancers offense?
Well, I think Coach Oliver's trying to see what he has with his running backs. I know he was really looking forward to a host of kids who could carry the ball. And I think right now, I don't know. Again, we don't know if the playbook is open and everything's being shown or what. But I do know that he's looking to showcase some of these guys and see what they can do.
We have a play-action pass, bootleg out to left side. Smith's going to go ahead and keep it, cuts back, and they whistle the play dead. Don't exactly know why.
Maybe it's some new rules where you can't hit the quarterback.
We're going to go ahead and go with that. So after the inadvertent whistle or after the play, we're going to go ahead and say it was minimal gain. That'll bring up a second down.
I'm sure anybody who's a traditionalist watching this is going, what in the heck?
So as number 6, Smith, under center, takes the handoff here to number 5, Dabrian Moss, rumbles and stumbles his way inside the 10-yard line. It's going to bring up a third down. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for St. Pius. Nice.
Dabrian's a big kid, and so I mean, I like how hard he was running right there. He put his head down a little bit, and he got past the first guy, and he's looking for more.
I tell you what I like from Perryville is that they are doing an excellent job of getting a hat on a hat, getting down, and gang tackling.
Yes, they are.
As we have a handoff to the right side, number 1, Austin McGuckin's going to fumble it.
He recovered.
And he recovers his fumble. That will bring up a 4th down for the Lancers, 4th and 1 at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, right there, you gotta have both hands on the ball. We saw it in the last series when Perryville was on offense, that you got to protect the ball, and I'm sure that's something that when you're looking at all these different running backs for St. Pius, that's something that Coach Oliver is going to probably have a conversation about is ball security.
Exactly. 2 hands on the ball, covering up both points. As we have a handoff to Dabrian Moss, he's just going to power his way. And we're going to wait on the call, and it is going to be a St. Pius X touchdown. Dabrian Moss from about 5 yards out on a 4th and 1 is going to score on the left side handoff.
Yeah, it was a good run right there, and that's what when you have big running backs, and I know there's a couple of them that the Lancers are going to play this year. I think that's what you want to see, especially right there when you're 5 and in. So you want to be able to put the ball in the chest of one of your running backs, and you want to get a score.
Exactly. I think there's something to be said about how teams want to go spread nowadays in 2022, but you go and you look at the Webb Cities of the world and some of these other teams that are really football traditionalists. I mean, there's still a ground and pound, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We're going to play grown man football.
Well, you got to control the clock too.
So as we have an I formation now, Smith's going to drop back to pass. It's going to be caught by number 5, Dabrian Moss, on the seam route.
I don't think that was Dabrian's ball. I don't think Smith intended to throw it to him. I think Dabrian seen that it was kind of a duck. I don't think Smith got everything into that pass the way he was being pressured. Perryville did a great job of getting a little pressure back there, but he stepped up, and I don't think he had everything into that throw because it looked like it hung up there. It wasn't necessarily coming into one of the receivers. Trying to see who it was intended for, and I still can't see.
So you're trying to say better be lucky than good.
Absolutely. Well, Dabrian, hey, you're an athlete. Go make a play.
Yep. So as we have a pause in play right now, now Smith under center, sets the cadence, going to run the triple option, gets a fake, pitches it to Moss. What a heck of an athletic play there by James Smith to stay on his feet. And with that, he's going to pitch it out to Dabrian Moss, and Dabrian's going to have his second touchdown on the evening.
Of course, there's no score. So they were like, hey, I scored 2 touchdowns. Okay, David. Nobody.
But right now, I mean, you just saw James Smith. That's the athleticism that Coach Dan Oliver was talking about what he's excited to see in his new starting quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, not taking anything away from James, because from what we've seen from James coming off JV, being the fact that we work here at St. Pius and seen them play a few times, we know James can throw the ball. I think Coach Oliver, when I was talking to him, he was curious to see how James would be able to run those option plays, those RPOs a little bit, and then that way he see what he has with him.
So it looks like we have some substitutions. Number 14, Brendan Irvin's going to be in on the play. It's going to be a handoff, toss, sweep out to number 3. That is Alex Westerman. And he's going to gain about 4 yards on the play, as it looks like we have some younger players now subbing in for both the Lancers and the Pirates.
Well, and that's good. That's, again, talk about things that Jamborees are great for, is this right here. You get a chance to get your younger guys in, not only getting the guys who are going to play varsity minutes, but your younger guys too, and just to see what they do. And, they're excited.
Yeah, definitely. Major substitutions across the line as well, as Irvin's going to go under center. We still are in the wishbone formation. Takes the snap, going to get a handoff here. Stopped on the play. Nice tackle in the backfield. That's number 45, Wyatt Schrepp, the sophomore. What's a big sophomore there for Perryville?
Is he 45? Yep, it's 45. I'll tell you what, with these jerseys sometimes, with those numbers, it's hard to tell if it's a 6, a 5, an 8. I'm telling you, who's making these things?
Yeah, somebody making a lot of money.
Somebody making a lot of money, and we can't see anything.
So Irvin's going to go ahead and still be under center, as we have some adjustment here on the line, going to an I formation. 2 receivers out to the right side. Irvin's going to go ahead and roll out to the right. Pressure, going to be hit. Pass intended for number 3. That's Alex Westerman.
Yeah, he was definitely under the gun right there.
Bring up a 4th and long for St. Pius.
I don't think Westerman was ready for that pass.
Yeah, Irvin got flushed out of the pocket. Designed roll out to the right, but he was definitely under pressure from that right end.
And again, it's good for JV kids to have that opportunity, because now you're not just going against each other. You're going against somebody who might be bigger than you now.
Mm-hmm.
Some good stuff to go back and watch film and learn from.
Yes, definitely. So now it looks like we have another number 9. That's Danny DeGear in at fullback. So Irvin still under center. He's going to have a drop back pass. It's going to be passes intended for, look like number 11, Chase Watercutty. That is broken up by a couple of Pirates. Looked like number 6 in on the play, Gavin Himman.
We apologize if we butcher any names. We're definitely doing our best. But at the same time, if that ball was maybe thrown just a little bit out in front, he might make that play.
So as
and the funny thing is Brendan's dad is up here in the booth, so we're
and
definitely
he's giving all kinds of dirty looks at Coach Miller over here. I'm in the way, so I'm going to go ahead and step back.
Make a better pass, Brendan.
Yeah. So Irvin's under center.
His dad agrees.
Takes the snap. It's going to be a fake handoff, bootleg, naked boot out right. It's going to be sacked in the backfield by number 20. That is freshman Barrett Wheeler, the 6'1" defensive lineman.
And that was good pursuit. They were ready for something like that, and that's what you got to do. You got to cover those things.
Yep, staying in his lane, staying on his side of the field. That's a nice, for number 20, the freshman. Boy, that's a nice play to have on film as they go into next week. That might open up some eyes for the Perryville coaching staff, Coach Roth and everyone else.
Well, both teams want to see what these young guys can do in case they need to plug holes or somebody steps up and makes big plays.
And that's the thing about small school football, is that you really are only as good as your depth. As we're going to have
Absolutely.
a toss out to the right side. That's number 21, Xander Hale on the carry.
Another freshman.
Another freshman. Going to pick up about 3-4 yards. Nice tackle on the field by Perryville there. Couldn't pick up a number, but that was a nice hit. So we continue to have subs for both teams coming in. So while they're doing that, we have next week is week 1. St. Pius is going to be hosting Brentwood for their opener, and Perryville is going to be hosting Oakville in their opener. So we have a shotgun formation. Irvin's going to be back to pass. Throws it. Going to be, just passes almost caught. Looked like it was intended for 18. Jack Mashad.
That was broken up by number 16, Ashton Leanback, another freshman. So freshman versus freshman, and the Pirate freshman wins.
So with that last play, our first contest of the evening is going to come to a close, and that's going to be St. Pius and Perryville. So, Chris, you can tell us what we're going to do next here, as we might have some time in between with our next opponents, our next matchup, which is going to be Perryville and Crystal City.
So we're going to be going to a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what we just saw in this scrimmage, and then we'll see where we are with the action. Not sure. Again, we're playing in their world here, so we're not 100% sure how much time in between before this next one starts. But as soon as it does, we'll be right back here with the action. So we'll be right back, just in a short little bit. We'll see you guys in a second.
Got a big appetite? Join us at Case & Bucks in Barnhart for all-you-can-eat soup and salad every day of the week. All-you-can-eat Mexican on Mondays. Kids eat free on Tuesdays. All-you-can-eat pasta on Wednesdays. All-you-can-eat meatloaf on Thursdays. And all-you-can-eat fish and shrimp on Fridays. Enjoy our Feed the Crew special on Saturdays, which offers a large one-topping pizza, a pound of wings, toasted wraps, and a large salad, only $29.99. Like our Facebook page and see our full menu at caseandbucksbarnhart.com.
Hi, I'm Fran Tarkenton, Hall of Fame quarterback and founder of Tarkenton Financial. And this is my good friend and partner, Brian Waits, founder of Waits Financial Services.
Thanks, Fran. At Waits Financial Services, we believe in educating our clients, providing courteous service, and helping every person we work with create a winning game plan for their retirement.
Retirement is a lot like football. You need a solid game plan and great teammates in order to achieve success. That's why I started Tarkenton Financial, to help educate people about their choices and connect them with advisors I trust. And Brian is one of my trusted partners.
I'm here to help you meet your financial goals, minimize your tax burden, and ensure that you have income guaranteed for life. Let's get to work on your retirement game plan.
Call Brian Waits at Waits Financial Services today. You'll be glad you did.
I'm kind of a social media nerd. I'm also kind of a burglar. The couple that lives here posted online that they're out of town, so I'm turning su casa into mi casa. And if you share every detail of your life on social media, this could be you. So get Allstate, where agents keep you protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com. No time to eat in? No problem. Don't feel like cooking? We'll do it for you. Need wings for your party? TJ's Bar and Grill has got you covered. TJ's is a local mom and pop establishment in Peevely, Missouri, known for their own homemade pizza sauce, barbecue sauce, and their famous TJ's wing sauce. Open 7 days a week, they are family friendly, biker friendly, and locally owned. Come by or order by phone with your credit card at 636-475-3648. TJ's Bar and Grill. We're glad you stopped by.
You aren't looking for a cookie cutter experience with your agent. You are looking for someone who is going to go above and beyond or think outside the box. You are looking for someone who is going to be there for you no matter what, and someone who is going to walk you through the entire process. My name is Kelly Kaufman with Gateway Real Estate, and my passion is the people I work with. Real estate is personal. A home is not just the four walls, it's the people who live there and the memories you share. That's why I focus on the people I serve and make them a top priority throughout the entire process. I'm there for you. No matter what your budget is, no matter where you are, and no matter how long it takes, I will be there with you every step of the way. If you are looking for an agent who cares about you and will do everything to make sure you are taken care of, give me a call, 314-221-6090.
All right, so we are back here, and with the very first play of scrimmage, the Crystal City Hornets is going to run a nice triple option for a touchdown. That is number 3 for the Hornets, Kyle Schomburg, the senior quarterback, in on the score. Coach Miller, that was a heck of a play, triple option. And if you are head coach Dan Fox, I mean, that was lightning right out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, we had just came back, and they didn't give it hardly any time. They snapped that thing and went right one play.
And right off the bat, you see just some electricity here and some news and notes there for the Hornets. Crystal City finished last year with a record of 3-7. Their last game coming against St. Pius X in the first week of the Class 1 tournament. And really, you have a lot of returners for the Hornets. And what were freshmen and sophomore, now you start to see some upperclassmen emerge. And right out of the gate, Dan Fox has to like what he sees.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have a sack on the play for the Pirates. Number 1, Ben Hotop in on the stop. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it's going to be curious to see. I mean, last year and for the last couple of years, Crystal City has not had a lot of kids who've come out to play football, and that's, again, you said it earlier about your depth. Your depth kind of makes you when you're a small school, and it's going to be curious to see. I know they have more kids coming out this year than what they did last year, from everything that we've been told. So, I mean, if you're Coach Fox, you got to be excited for what you see.
Definitely. You have your starting quarterback coming back, and that's Kyle Schomburg. He went 17 of 30 for last year for 4 touchdowns as he's under center. Going to take the fullback dive. Nice right up the gut. And depending on the spot, that might be a first down for the Crystal City Hornets.
I believe that was number 21 who got the carry right there.
Number 21, that is Caden Rafferty, a junior running back. And some of the names that Coach Dan Fox is going to look at this year to lead the Hornet squad is going to be junior Caden Bolton, senior quarterback Kyle Schomburg, sophomore Evan Wolf, sophomore Nolan Eisenbeis, junior Caden Rafferty, and junior on the line Luke Holdinghausen. So you have double tight formation from the Hornets. Man goes in motion. Triple option again. Is going to take the pitch to number 12. Going to pick up a few yards here. Looks like it's stopped on the play by number 8, Tyler Ryan.
And number 1, Ben Hotop was. Oh, he almost had his hand on that pitch. You can see he's pretty upset he didn't get a piece of that one.
I'm liking the offense of the Hornets right now. They're just playing some smash mouth football and running some triple option. I mean, it's nice to see.
They're utilizing their athleticism. They have some tall kids, some athletic kids down there, and I think that's when you got bigger kids or stronger kids, you got to utilize your speed to negate their strength.
Exactly, and I know there's a couple tracksters on the team that were all-state last year, went and performed pretty well, whether it was in the hurdles and in the long jump as well. Man in motion out to the right side. QB keeps, going to keep it, and they're going to go ahead and blow the play dead just to keep the quarterback safe. Kind of a busted play there.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody knew what they were supposed to be doing, but, I guess we're protecting the quarterback. So, I mean, that's always good. So that way nobody gets hurt in these jamborees, these scrimmages. And
you have a lot really returning for the Hornets, especially running the ball. Caden Rafferty, he had almost 650 yards and 3 touchdowns last year. Caden Bolton had 550 yards and 5 touchdowns. Kyle Schomburg had 7 touchdowns with just over 480 yards. So there's a lot coming back, and I'm sure Dan Fox is ready to start this year. So we have a man moved out to the right side. A little misdirection here. We're going to have a sweep to number 17. Brought down on the play, number 17, that is Landon DeRouche.
It's brought down by Nicholas Kramer, sophomore for Perryville, who had that thing sniffed out.
It is. That's going to bring up a 4th and a long 10 for the Hornets. So you start to see early on the Hornets really looking to go east and west. They had that good fullback dive early, and Perryville making some adjustments defensively, really playing some stout defense.
And I think that's something that, we watched in the first scrimmage when they played St. Pius, they're making adjustments on defense, and that's, if you're Coach Roth, that's exactly what you want to see. We're going to make the adjustment, okay, and we're going to be better moving forward.
Man in motion again. It's going to be a fake to the jet. Handoff to number 21. Nice pickup by Caden Rafferty, the junior running back. That's going to be a big gain for the Hornets. Bring up a 1st and, depending on where the official spots it, 1st and goal. This is something that if you were Dan Fox and the coaching staff of the Hornets, you were saying, you know what, this is something that we like to see. We are able to move the ball well, and they were moving the ball really in between the tackles. Almost in between the guards. As now we have a motion to the right side. It's going to give a handoff to the motion man on the jet sweep. That's going to be number 12, Nolan Eisenbeis on the carry. Good enough for about a 4-5 yard, they're going to say 6-yard gain.
I think he was brought down by number 36, Jondris Ward, senior. I believe he was in on that. And I think, even our cameraman was faked out on that play. That's when you know when it's really good, when nobody knows where the ball is. Mm-hmm. Hey, again, Coach Fox, he's got to be excited from what he's seeing so far.
So we've got 2 receivers split out to the right side. 1 running back behind the quarterback. Number 3, Schomburg, is going to have a little pass intended for number 8. That is Camden Mays, trying to set up a little screen there. Wide receiver screen just dropped.
Yeah, I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit. This is that first passing play, incomplete pass, but hey, we're just trying to see what works right now. And if you're Crystal City, you're Class 1, you're playing a Class 4 school.
Mm-hmm. And you're looking pretty good.
And hey, moving the ball, taking care of it. Again, Coach Fox is probably like, yes, that's what I want to see.
See if they can punch it in here at third and goal, just inside the 5-yard line. Schomburg under center. It's going to go ahead, put a man in motion. Going to be a flag on the play, and that's going to be an illegal procedure against the Hornets.
Had 2 people going at the same time. Can't do that.
So really, Coach, the first game, first little scrimmage there, was pretty clean. We haven't had too many flags so far. It's the first one, I believe, of this contest.
It's the first one in this contest. We only had 1 in the last one, and that's because you can't taunt and celebrate after a sack.
So they actually called encroachment on Perryville. So they're going to bring the Hornets up half the distance. So that'll bring up now 3rd and
goal.
3rd and goal, just at inside the 2. Schomburg under center. Puts a man in motion. A little misdirection. It's going to be a handoff to number 17. That is Landon DeRouche in on the touchdown for Crystal City.
That was a nice play right there.
Nice misdirection.
Very nice. I mean, when it's a tough thing in the goal line, especially when you have all the motion and movement going on to be able to know who has the ball. I think we got a flag.
Another flag on the play, looks like.
I think we do. Not sure what the call is.
So we're going to have a personal foul against Crystal City. Don't know if that's going to be before the touchdown or after the touchdown. So we'll see if they bring him back from the spot. Looks like they're going to. So we're going to go ahead and negate that touchdown play.
Might have been a face mask or something right there by a lineman or someone blocking.
Yeah, maybe a shot block. I know they have put in some rules to try and negate the crack blocks that you see, especially downfield. But I mean, at the 2-yard line, I didn't see anything that was egregious, but obviously the officials down there did.
We have a little toss play, a little sweep to the right there. You're not really sure, and we don't have the good vantage angle here to see it. But, hey, referees, Jamborees help them too.
Exactly. It is practice for everybody for week
practice.
1 next week, as we're going to have a third and long, third and goal from about the 17-yard line. Schomburg going to go ahead and pass once again on a wide receiver screen out to number 8, Mays. Still on his feet, cuts left, cuts right. He's going to cut all the way back across the field, and he's going to go ahead and score. What a heck of a play by number 8, Mays.
Yeah, he bounced back and forth a little bit right there, and then had a good lane created for him by number 21, Caden Rafferty, another running back who put a nice block on a linebacker who I think had Mays kind of timed up right there.
And I think that's exactly what Coach Fox has talked about, saying, hey, he's got some track speed out there, and let's go ahead and get some speed and space out to our athletic players, and that's exactly what you saw, and Crystal City's put up a couple touchdowns early.
Again, when you're a Class 1 school playing Class 4, this is the kind of stuff you really want to see. It gives you a lot of optimism moving forward. For the season. I know the kids will probably go into practice. I mean, they're coming off of a 3-7 record. I think that was a little misleading. I think they played really well in a lot of those games, especially late. And I know last year when they played St. Pius in the first round of the district tournament,
it was a close first half.
Yeah, they look good. Mm-hmm. Time of possession. I mean, that's something that they want to do. They want to maintain the ball, and I think that's what you have to do. When you're not maybe loaded with a bunch of receivers, you can throw the ball and pitch it around. And everybody, like you said, play spread. It's something that you want to be able to do, and I think they're showing what they're going to be able to do this year.
And one of the things I think that Coach Fox had talked about goal-wise for this season is really just to improve every day and week by week. Part of that is controlling the possession, controlling the clock, and I like what I see offensively. They're going to go ahead. They're going to be able to do that as we have some mass substitutions here at line position and also out at the split running back positions as well. We have a new quarterback. It looks like number 12, Nolan Eisenbeis, and that's something that Coach Fox was talking about, that there's going to be a QB battle, and once again we're going to have a flag against the Hornets. Going to be,
I believe this one now is a legal procedure.
Yes. Yep. It's going to be a false start against the Hornets. 5-yard penalty. We'll see with Jamboree rules if they're going to go ahead and move them back or just keep them at the 40. They aren't really moving anything. So in a traditional game, they would be moved back to the Perryville 45, but because this is a practice setting, we're just going to go ahead and keep the ball here at the 40-yard line. Hornets get the play.
Very fortunate for the Hornets right there.
Well, and we talked about Coach Fox really kind of has a QB battle between Schomburg and Eisenbeis, and Eisenbeis being the sophomore, Schomburg being the senior. So we'll see how that plays out as number 5 goes in motion. We're going to have a triple option. Eisenbeis is going to be stopped on the play. Looks like, again, we've heard this name and number for Perryville several times. Number 20, freshman Barrett Wheeler.
It's a good thing when you're Perryville. I mean, you're a new member of the conference, playing in the I-55, and you want to try to show what you can do. And I'm sure Coach Roth is looking for all the positives. And we've seen several young underclassmen who've made plays already tonight. So again, future's bright.
Definitely. As Perryville, they're going to open up their year August 26th against Oakville. Crystal City, they're going to open up the 26th as well, but they're going to travel all the way down to Chaffee, Missouri.
Little drive.
And being an independent, as Eisenbeis is going to take the snap, handoff with the run to the outside. That's number 5 on the carry. That is freshman Cohen Compton. Stop to look like maybe number 84 for Perryville.
I believe that's who was in on the tackle.
But with Crystal City is not in a conference. They are actually an independent. And so because of that, they have to travel. Some of the games that they're going to, some of the opponents are going to have Chaffee away, Louisiana at home, Bayless, which is actually took their spot in the I-55 conference. They're going to have Confluence Academy, Gateway. They're going to travel all the way to Russellville. They're going to go to Van Far. They're going to go all the way up to Missouri Military Academy and then finish off against Herculaneum.
That's quite a bus route.
Yes, it is. Man in motion here, triple option. Eisenbeis still has the ball. Pitches it out to number 17. That is Landon DeRouche, still on his feet. And DeRouche is going to go ahead and he's going to score. I believe that's his second touchdown of the evening.
Man, I'll tell you what, this is some really good play right now by the Hornets.
Yes, it is.
Great job.
They really are the line, and Coach Fox is probably, he's going to sing their praises after this Jamboree. They are really doing an excellent job of holding on to their blocks, and quarterback, both Schomburg and Eisenbeis are reading well, and they're able to get outside of the tackle and then being able to either read the linebacker or the D-back and then make that correct pitch at the right time. And in doing so, you've seen some beautiful option football tonight.
Yeah, and again, we talked about the athletes. You want to get the ball out in space with them, and they're doing a great job up front, making sure that they're holding, like you said, holding their blocks and then making plays.
So as Eisenbeis brings the Hornets up to the line, we're going to have 2 receivers split out to the right side. Slot back to the left, running back right behind. Going to have a designed rollout pass for a fly route. It's actually going to be caught by number 10. That is Nolan Eisenbeis. Number 10, that is Jesse Cathcart, the junior wide receiver.
He made a great play to come back to that one.
But after that, looks like maybe they either whistled. I guess he didn't catch it. I thought it was a great catch.
Oh man! Made a good adjustment to try to come back and do it anyway.
Yes, exactly. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10, and obviously we're practicing here too because we've missed a lot of calls tonight. Normally we call like we see it, but we were missing some calls.
Yeah, if you haven't already, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can see some other broadcasts that we've done. You can also see some of our shows that we've had produced by Off the Rails Media, who's presenting this game tonight. You can also stream us on Streamline Sports, and we got different ways that you can watch our broadcasts and our shows.
So as Eisenbeis under center, going back to a double tight. Man in motion, that's going to be an illegal procedure false start against the Hornets. Maybe trying to go on 2, maybe a fancy snap count. So besides that, Chris, we also have not a giveaway, but what exactly is it?
Well, I throw it up on the screen real quick. You can enter to win Cardinals tickets. You want to scan the QR code. We're giving away 2 all-inclusive Cardinals tickets. They're valued at $150. September 13th game against the Brewers. If you follow that code and you have an opportunity to win, all you have to do at least is subscribe to our YouTube channel and enter, put all your information in, and hopefully somebody wins. I know somebody will win.
Somebody's going to win. Going to win some free tickets here as we have number 5 in on the carry. That's a nice gain here. Number 4, that's going to be Camden Britt, and I believe number 12, Aiden McGarvey, in on the stop. On the run out to the left-hand side, that's Cohen Compton.
I think it was Cade Lucky. This is number 12, is another freshman. we're trying to get the names. We're not used to. I mean, we've had when you prep for any kind of broadcast, you usually only have 2 teams. So now we have 3 teams. It's a little bit more difficult. That's why it always helps to practice a little bit.
Practice.
Jamborees.
Practice. Talking about practice.
Talking about practice.
So that'll bring up a 1st and 10 for Crystal City inside the Perryville 30. One receiver out to the right side. Man in motion going to the left. It's going to be a fumbled snap by Eisenbikes. He's going to keep it. And they're going to go ahead and blow the play dead, as we've seen several times, just to protect the quarterback.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of had a little lane there to make something happen. Mm-hmm. And right now we have a lot of underclassmen in. The kids, the younger guys, Perryville's playing a lot of their JV. Crystal City, some of these kids, they might have to play varsity.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I believe there's about 20 or so on the lineup for the Hornets, and whether it's going to be travel that we've already said, all the way up at places like at Fulton with Missouri Military Academy, going all the way out to Russellville, up to the city to play Gateway, play Confluence. I mean, they're gonna have some long bus rides this season.
MMA is actually in Mexico. It's even further.
Yeah. It's a ways.
Oh yeah, I mean Van Far. That
far is up there.
Very far. Not just Van Far, very far.
So
puns for days.
So as Perryville now, they're going to take over on offense. Crystal City will get to see them for their first time on defense. We've seen Perryville offensively against the Lancers. We'll see if they were able to make any adjustments from one opponent to the next here. As we have, it looks like, I believe, number 7, Aiden McGarvey, in at QB, and number 8, Tyler Ryan, in the pistol formation at running back. McGarvey takes the snap. We're going to have a fake handoff. Going to be a jet sweep out to number 10. That is Alex Sanders. Nice little misdirection play for Perryville with a nice gain to pick up the first down.
Yeah, and Camden Mays made the touchdown-saving tackle right there for Crystal City. Perryville's they're like, hey, we're tired of watching you guys on offense. We're going to do a little bit of running of our own.
As good of the offense as Crystal City had, I'm curious to see how their defense is going to play, especially against, once again, they're a Class 1 school. Now they're playing against a Class 4 opponent. As Perryville's going to take the snap, we're going to have a pass out into the flat. That's going to be caught by number 1. That is Ben Hotop. Nice little pass right out that's going to be good enough for a first down for Perryville.
And Perryville has a big offensive line. We said that in the last scrimmage when they played against St. Pius. So again, talking about being size of school, size of players, depth of team. Let's see now with some of these kids having to flip over and play defense, how they respond and how they play in 2 ways.
Exactly. And that's the thing with Crystal City we'll see is you might be able to see in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, St. Pius is kind of hanging out on the hill up beyond the goalpost as Perryville's going to send a man in motion. That's number 10, going to take the jet sweep handoff. It's going to be a nice stop in the backfield by number 17. That is Landon DeRouche.
Man, that was a great stop by the freshman.
There's a lot of speed all over the field there for the Hornets, and if you're Dan Fox, you're liking what you're seeing.
Absolutely.
So that'll bring up a 2nd and about 15 for the Pirates at the Crystal City 20-yard line. I'm impressed with Crystal right now.
Oh, I am too.
I mean, it's not just because it's my alma mater. I mean, I'm liking.
I was kind of wondering there for a second if you were showing any kind of bias, Zach.
No, we're trying not to do. We're trying to be objective
Very
down the middle
objective.
while we're doing this jamboree. As Perryville sends a man in motion, we're gonna have a fake handoff, roll out to the left. QB is gonna go ahead and make the pass right across the middle. That's gonna be a touchdown for Perryville. That is number 10, Alex Sanders, on the pass from number 7, Aiden McGarvey. Nice little play.
Yeah, and had made an adjustment right there, especially on the scramble and the rollout. And it wasn't the greatest throw, but hey, when you're the quarterback and you're looking downfield, and it's just really, really good right there to make the adjustment to come back to the ball and make the play.
Exactly. That's a tough play for a right-handed quarterback to roll out to his left-hand side. He's got to get his body, not only his feet, but he's also got to get his shoulders squared back to the other side of the field. That's extremely difficult to do. He was able to pull it off. And then number 10, Alex Sanders with a nice little adjustment on his route, and Perryville picks up the touchdown.
So now Perryville is going to see if they can match how many scores Crystal had here.
Yep, and I think that's going to be good for Perryville coming down to the I-55 conference. That's exactly what you want to have happen, some more parity in the league, not only for them, you know, even though they're going to be Class 4, they're really trying to build as we have a handoff here to number 8. That is Tyler Ryan, going to pick up a nice gain of about 6 yards. And if you're Perryville, you know, you want to try and build this program. And what better way to do that than go ahead and come into the competitive I-55 conference. You've got great schools with some really good tradition. You have Jefferson R7 that they since they've had their high school, that football program has really been rolling. St. Pius, obviously, with the things that Coach Oliver and staff has done over the last several years. You have St. Vincent, who is always a scrappy team that is going to give you their best effort. Herculaneum, I think, is going to have an opportunity to do something special this year as well with Coach Blaine Boss over there. They've got a boatload of seniors and talent over there that they're ready to rock and roll.
And even Grandview had a great year last year.
As we have a give here, number 34, that is Brett Bonnert. And he is absolutely stuffed on the play.
That was number 14. That's Cale Schomburg right there.
Nice.
When you're a freshman, man, you're making plays like that.
And I remember hearing that about that Crystal City was going to have a very, very good incoming freshman class for the Hornets this year that Dan Fox and company was going to salivate over. And really, I mean, small school football or not, this is fun to watch.
Yeah, and that's what you got to be excited about. When I've coached at small schools, and you're always looking forward to that good freshman class. They're coming.
So we have a drop back pass here by number 5. Still, he's looking for a receiver, still on his feet. They're going to blow the play dead, but then we're also going to have a flag on the play, maybe a chop block in the backside of the play, or maybe a hold. Always in the area of holding. So we had a new quarterback in for Perryville.
Yep, we got a hold.
That was number 5, Rylan Graham. And Perryville, that's normally, Chris, what happens on the backside of plays. That tackle, that guard, you know, that DN just gets right around, and the QB has to scramble a little bit, and they just hold on just a little bit longer than they need to.
Absolutely. You know, I'm kind of curious to see here with Graham. He's a junior. He's listed at 5'6". You don't see a lot of 5'6" quarterbacks, so I'm kind of curious to see how well he can throw the ball.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I mean, it's either he's utilized more as a runner with his size, because traditionally quarterbacks are taller. But if he's out there playing quarterback for a Class 4 school, you got to assume he can throw the ball a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So as we have the pistol formation, looks like number 34, Brett Bonnert, right behind QB. So we're going to have a handoff to the right side. Nice gain here. Stopped on the play. Looked like by number 8, Camden Mays really stuck his nose in there. Not before a quality gain by the Perryville Pirates.
Yeah, and that was good running, but it was actually really good blocking, because there wasn't a lot of guys who actually put a hit on the back right there up until the second level. So that's what you want to see. Again, Coach Roth trying to look for positives, trying to look for adjustments, and it looks like the line right there decided, hey, we're just going to block.
Mm-hmm. So that'll bring up a 4th and inches situation for Perryville. And I don't know, the part of me wants to say it's a jamboree. Let's do something. Let's have fun. But I think we'll probably just see maybe a handoff. Little toss out to the right side. He's got some running room still on his feet. That's number 20.
That's Barrett Wheeler.
And he's going to pick up the first down for Perryville.
It's a good run right there.
Good cutback.
Good cutback. Just getting ready to say that. Thanks for stealing my thunder.
That's what we do.
That's right.
So Perryville probably has a few more plays here, and we'll see what type of maybe adjustments we see, if we're going to maybe let it loose. We haven't really, and we're not going to. Everybody's, you know, and that's an argument. That's a philosophical debate that we could have. If you're going to be in a jamboree, you're just going to be vanilla, so you don't show anything to your opponents. As we have a flood route to the right side, and that is going to be caught. Trying to see what number it is.
It's number 30. It's number 36, Jondris Ward, senior. but he got absolutely hammered by a swarm of Hornets right there.
And Chris, I mean, I know basketball is different from football.
A little bit.
And you can run different plays here and there. To me, everybody's going to know what you're doing week 1 to week 10 anyway. And so to me, it's like, hey, you know what? Run what you want to run.
I mean,
let's get good at what we want to do. We don't have to just sit here and be vanilla just because, we want to hide what we're going to do from, next week's opponent. I mean, if anybody does their due diligence, they're going to know what you run.
Well, I mean, football is a little different than basketball. I do think that football coaches, if I was in a Jamboree, I'd run most of our playbook, but I'd also keep some stuff just so that way it's for us.
As we have, it looked like, I'm going to say number 15.
A new quarterback.
New quarterback in. Yep, that's number 15, Cole Lane. He's a sophomore trying to set up a wide receiver screen. Couldn't tell if it was just a wide receiver screen or a tunnel screen, but either way, just a little incomplete.
Yeah, it's a little short right there. I think there might have been a miscommunication on where the receiver is supposed to go and the quarterback didn't throw it. Hey, again, it's Jamboree. We're trying to fix it.
Yep. I do love the fact that in the Jamboree setting, the coaches are on the field. They're able to talk to their players, make adjustments, whatever they need to. So I'd wish we could do something like that in basketball and baseball. That would be fun. As we have a handoff here to the left side, number 20, initially stuffed on the play by number 55. That is Seth Center. And then a swarm of swarm of Hornets that came in after the initial stop.
Yeah, good way to swarm the ball right there. I mean, that you got a lot of guys who've played both ways here for Crystal City, so it's always nice to see. I know they've substituted a lot of guys out.
So we have a a pass. It's going to be intended for number 45. That was Wyatt Shrimp, but there is a flag on the play. Looks like maybe the initial call is going to be pass interference.
Seems that way.
Can't be
Waiting
a block
for it.
Can't be a block in the back.
We got pass interference.
Pass interference. Just got there just a little bit too early.
Little bit. He anticipated the play, so again, you're talking about positives. Hey, it's like, hey, I know you saw that play coming. You just can't make any contact with him before the ball gets there.
So that'll set up 1st and goal for Perryville as they're looking to situate their last few plays of this opening Jamboree. We are at Festus, Missouri, St. Pius X High School, Father Dalton Field, as once again, number 20, that is Barrett Wheeler. I mean, that we've said his name countless times. Now he's on the offensive side running the ball.
Yeah, and again, when you're underclassmen like that, get yourself into the highlight film. When you start looking at film and your coaches are looking at film and they're like, man, this kid's in there all the time, you know what that's going to do? That's going to open doors up for you.
6'1", 200-pound running back linebacker.
That's a big old boy.
That is a nice-sized freshman. It's definitely something to build around if you are Coach Roth and the Perryville Pirate coaching staff.
Or a basketball coach.
Give up to the right side once again.
There's Wheeler.
That is going to be good for a Perryville touchdown.
Good run right there. Good cut back. And again, the line's doing a really good job. I know we've got a lot of kids who've subbed in that normally we haven't had all out on the field the whole time, but I know Crystal City's got a lot of their subs in. They don't have a very big bench as far as kids are concerned, but they have a lot of their skill players out and giving these other kids a chance to get some playing time as well.
Well, and you're going to have to do that if you're Coach Fox and Crystal City. I mean, Class 1 schedule or not, you're going to have to be able to rely on some depth, and you're definitely going to have to rely on some of these younger freshmen and sophomores. And I really think after watching these guys and getting to see them live, I didn't get a chance last year, even in the district game. I like what I see, and I really, really am confident that Dan Fox and the fellows over there at Crystal City, they're going to do some special things this year. I think they're going to improve on that 3-7 record that they have, and you know what? They might shock some people going forward as we have a play-action pass. Looked up from not quite a screen, but a little dump down to number 20, still on his feet. finally brought down on the play by maybe number 7, who's out in the corner. I think that was Logan Gerhardt.
And
Couldn't tell from where we were at.
We have another quarterback change for Perryville. They have Cade Lucky now. He's a freshman. He's out there, and he's the one who made that little pitch right there over the top.
And number 20, Wheeler, a little banged up on that play. Couldn't tell if it's an ankle or knee, but he's a little ginger, got his helmet off, and he's walking back to the sideline.
You don't really want to see that as a coach, especially after the game he's had.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Game, scrimmage, whatever you want to call it. I mean,
exactly.
we've called his name quite a bit in the last 2.
So as Perryville gets set up on, and we can't really see the way the sun is shining and glaring off of the numbers, it looks like it is 1st and 10 for Perryville. We're going to have a toss out to the left-hand side. Number 56 in on the stop. Number 56 for the Hornets. That is freshman Jacob Lovelace, and that's another pretty big freshman.
Big freshman right there. He took down another big sophomore, though, Evan Hayden, number 22. Nice little carry right there.
So St. Pius still waiting. They haven't moved over to the other side of the field to start their warm-ups, and maybe just with Crystal City having a low amount of players on their roster, maybe going to give Crystal some time, a breather here, maybe let the sun go down as we have a misdirection play handoff to number 45 for Perryville. That is sophomore Wyatt Shrimp. And I tell you what, that was a nice set of tackling for the Hornets there.
Yeah, it was number 7, Logan Gerhardt, be a junior. I mean, the thing about Crystal City, I think you're right. I think they're gonna do some damage, and you can't sleep on them. So even like last year with that 3-7 record, you know, the Lancers played in the first round districts. I think they were kind of sleeping on them a little bit, but you know that's good for Coach Fox. He's got to be excited.
So we have a toss out to the left-hand side. That's number 34, Brett Bonnert, with a nice carry. Good enough for a Perryville first down. And with that, I believe that is going to be the last play of scrimmage in the Perryville and Crystal City contest here at the St. Pius X Jamboree, located in Festus, Missouri at Father Dalton Stadium. So, Chris Miller, go ahead and take us out here.
Well, Zach, I think we're going to step away real quick, and we're going to go to have some of our commercials here. And real quick, before we get everybody, moving along here, if you're interested, if you're enjoying the broadcast, or hell, if you're a Cardinals fan right now, enter to win our Cardinals ticket giveaway. You don't have to even watch our show. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's at least all you have to do. Once you enter the contest, that gets you entries.
For free tickets.
For free. And all the stuff that you do, subscribe to YouTube, that's free. And you can also follow us on Apple Podcasts, and that'll get you more entries. And Zach, that's also free.
Exactly.
You can follow us on Twitter, that's free.
Everything that we want to do here at Off the Rails Media Production is free. We want to make sure that we would never, ever put anything behind a paywall. Anything that we do, whether it's our show of really 4 goofy guys just trying to make jokes and just make each other mad all the time, what we want to do we want to give back to the community. We want to make sure that everything's free, whether it's our Coach's Box show, any games that we broadcast, whether it's anything up north in the city with Jim Powers and his high school caravan show. Anything that we do, we want to make sure that it's free.
Absolutely. So if you haven't already, go ahead and scan the code and enter to win. Hopefully, and we'll be drawing that on September 7th. And if you're one of our first-time viewers, hey, we hope you win, because that's what we want to do. Like Zach said, these are all-inclusive tickets, so you get to go watch the Cardinals and the Brewers. Pennant race is getting tight.
Yes, it is.
It's that division
titles.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we're going to step away real quick for a commercial. When we come back, we'll hopefully have some action going on. If hopefully we don't come in at the last minute and miss a couple things, but hey, if we do, we do. And we'll see you guys here in a little bit. You are watching Between the Lines, Friday Night Football, presented by Off the Rails Media. We'll be right back.
I'm a tailgater tailgating to get to my tailgate. Now, it might not get me there any faster, but hey, it gets me ready for football. Let's tailgate.
I can't go anywhere.
But you're so busy watching me tailgate that you don't see the one in front of you. And your cut rate car insurance, it might not pay for this. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
New at Case & Bucks, all-you-can-eat soup and salad all day, every day. Choose from homemade soups like tortellini, loaded steak, green pepper, and many more. 7095 Metropolitan Boulevard in Barnhart, Missouri, just off 55. See our full menu at caseandbucksbarnhart.com.
All right, so we are back here between the lines and Off the Rails media broadcast, special broadcast of Friday Night Football, as we are at Festus, Missouri, St. Pius X High School, Father Dalton Stadium. And we are going to get ready to begin our last game of the Jamboree. That's going to be the St. Pius X Lancers against, we're going to call it, can't exactly call it crosstown rival, but we're going to go ahead and say almost bitter rivals.
A little bit.
Crystal City Hornets.
I would say there's some rivalry there.
I can tell you I've played in a few of these games in football and basketball and baseball, and let me tell you, it is a rivalry between the St. Pius X Lancers and the Crystal City Hornets. There is no love lost between the two.
From how long I've been coaching here at St. Pius as the basketball coach, I'm telling you right now, I just think it's a good rivalry game for both schools.
I'm excited to see the Hornets on offense against the Lancers if they have the success that they had against Perryville, as we have man in motion, a little misdirection. It's going to be a nice run just to start. Number 21, Caden Rafferty, is going to pick up about 5 yards on the play for the Hornets.
I think James Smith was in on that one, quarterback.
Nice start for Dan Fox's Hornets. And so we'll see if there's any fatigue for Crystal City and the fact that they have about 20 on the roster compared to 30-plus for the Lancers. And then Perryville, they had, looked like about 40, 50 guys. So once again, we have a man in motion. Fullback's going to keep it. Once again, that's 21. Rafferty in on the carry. Going to pick up about 2 more yards.
I think number 65, Christian McCline, senior, got in there and made the tackle.
D-tackle, nose guard. And so we'll see what type of adjustments the Lancers are going to come out with. They're just going to be in their base defense. See if they have any type of wrinkles, whether it's slants, blitzes, or what have you. Have a man in motion going to the left side. It's going to be a jet sweep. It's going to be number 12. That is Nolan Eisenbeis in on the carry. That's going to be tackled for a loss of about a half yard.
Yeah, it was a good tackle by number 56, Alex Moises. And, Alex was one of the guys who got in on a sack in the first scrimmage and a little excessive celebration, but he looked like he was pretty mild-mannered right there. He even helped the kid up and was ready to play some football.
So that'll bring up a 4th and 5 for the Hornets on the Lancer 35-yard line. We haven't really seen too much passing from Crystal City, so we'll see maybe if there's going to be this type of setting on 3rd and 5 as we have a man in motion. We're going to have a rollback. Schomburg's going to go back to pass. It's going to be a nice little route out to pass intended for number 8. That was Camden Mays. Got behind the defensive back, number 7, Nolan Sipple, but Sipple able to recover and just knock the ball out of the hands of number 8.
Yeah, Nolan Sipple's a little lucky right there because Camden Mays had him beat.
Yes,
down the sideline. We talked about it in the first scrimmage. The Lancers if we talk about something that the defense really needs to focus on, and I'm sure Coach Oliver and staff will see, is you can't let those receivers behind you because there's a lot of speed, there's a lot of strength for the Lancers, but if you got kids that are fast, they're just going to outrun you if you can't let them behind you.
Right, exactly. As Crystal City will turn the ball over on down, so they will go back to the Lancer 40-yard line. We have a receiver out wide to the right, man in motion going to left. It's going to be a handoff again right up the gut. That's 21, Caden Rafferty, the junior running back.
And that was number 3, Justin Lane, linebacker, sophomore.
And you see, you can see kind of a difference between the Lancers and the Hornets. St. Pius with some definite bigger bodies out on the field right now, and both were Class 1 schools. I'll be the bearer of bad news. I can't see St. Pius being a Class 1 school. I could be wrong, but they were right at the top of Class 1 last year, and enrollment being what it is this year with a few more students. I imagine they're probably going to jump up to Class 2 just based off of enrollment. As we have a give again to the fullback, that's 21.
It looked like number 1, Austin McGuckin, was in on the tackle.
And that's something that is we still do not know. The players don't know. The coaches don't know. The fans don't know. They have not released yet the district assignments across the state. And so I don't know if that's going to be tonight, this weekend, if it's going to be next week, or if it's going to be down the road after we've started a week 1 or week 2.
Permission to speak freely?
Go ahead. Not so much freely, but go.
I do believe that this is this is something I totally disagree with Missouri State High School Activity Association. As a coach, I want to know who's going to be in our class, in our district. I want to know earlier.
Mm-hmm. As Schomburg gives the handoff again to 21, that is Rafferty. Gain of about 3.5 on the play. Bring up again 4th and 5 for the Hornets. And, we've just kind of seen fullback gives. They're trying to run the option. I don't know if St. Pius is just sitting on the pitch man, and so you just have to give it to the fullback, or if it's maybe just designed that way.
I think the way that St. Pius's defense is designed, there's a lot of assignments. So if Crystal City does one thing, there's adjustments that they're going to make based on that.
So Schomburg under center again. We said there's that QB battle between him and Eisenbeis. As we have a man in motion, it's going to be option again. Nice little play there by James Smith. Not only did he blow up the initial give to the fullback, he also was able to take Schomburg down with him.
Yeah, he wasn't fooled at all.
No.
Got by the block and was in on the play in the backfield.
Nice little play there for the linebacker and quarterback. That's something that you hit small school football. You see, you don't see that too much necessarily in Class 4, 5, and 6, but you see that at small school.
Well, knowing James is a gamer. He's not the kind of guy who's I don't like being hit. No, James is the kind of kid who's like, oh, I like hitting. I'm not just about just not getting hit.
Mm-hmm. Put his nose in there.
Absolutely.
So as the Hornets break their huddle and come to the line at the 40-yard line for a 1st and 10. Going to have a man in motion going to the left side. It's going to be a handoff on the fly sweep here to Eisenbeis. It's going to be a nice gain for the Hornets. It's going to be just shy of a 1st down to bring up a 2nd and inches for Crystal City.
Pushed out of bounds right there. Good tackle by number 1, Austin McGuckin, who's made several plays on defense here for the Lancers in the last 2 scrimmages. But good blocking right there, getting out. We talked about getting your athletes into space, and Crystal City's really tried to run inside inside the tackles. Let's see if they try to look to go maybe outside right now.
Austin McGuckin with 96 tackles last year, 71 assists, so total on the year last season 167, and he's looking to improve on that in his senior campaign.
It looks right now that Crystal City, a little play up the middle. We said running between tackles, and didn't get a whole lot, but there was enough on that last play to make it to where they can get the first down.
So for Crystal City, you have several returners at QB, at running back. Cole Rafferty, like we said, he returns with 650 yards. Bolton, he returns with 550 yards. Schaumburg, 485 yards. Eisenbeis with over 100 yards. So you've got a lot of skill players back for Crystal City. Same can be said for the Lancers. You have Dabrian Moss. He has over 220 yards rushing, as we have now another fullback give right up the gut to Rafferty. But Dabrian Moss is the leading returning rusher for the Lancers with 229 yards, couple touchdowns. Austin McGuckin had just under 230 yards. James Smith also had about 10 attempts. And a receiving core with Dabrian, he had a couple touchdowns, 250 yards. Eli Frimmel, I think that's going to be a name that you're going to hear. He had 3 touchdowns last year with 144 yards receiving. Drew Merciel had a couple touchdowns as well. Matt Mariani is going to play into the mix for these Lancers. So you see a lot of returners, and I think for both squads it's going to be who's going to step up in that leadership role. Yeah, and there's nothing that you can do that substitutes experience. You've been out there, you've done it. That's the best thing you can have. So we're going to have a rollout pass to the right side. It's going to be caught in the flat by number 8. It's going to be brought down by number 1, McGuckin. That was Camden Mays in on the catch. And depending on the spot, they're going to call it just short by about a yard. Well, you can see Dabrian Moss was about ready to start going after the quarterback and then realized that there was somebody open behind him. Did a good job of making an adjustment to come back, because when Mays caught the ball, if Moss wouldn't have been there, he'd just turn around up the sideline. But allowing him to come back and make that adjustment, or trying to make that play on defense, allowed for his teammates to come over there and help make the play. So that'll bring up a 3rd and short for Crystal City. And so obviously, Jamboree setting or not, this would be go for it territory. It's 3rd down and 4th down, or 3rd and inches. So we have Eisenbeis back, Schaumburg under center. Man going in motion to the left. It's going to be a design rollout to the left-hand side, going across his body. It's going to be pass intended for, looks like number 17. That was Landon DeRouche. It's going to be tipped and broken up by a couple of Lancers. Yeah, good pressure right there by St. Pius to really force an awkward throw. Again, we're talking about right-hand quarterbacks rolling out to the left. He couldn't set his feet, couldn't get the shoulders where they needed to be. Tough play to make. And, I mean, it wasn't a bad throw. He threw it where only his receiver could catch it. But at the same time, great plays by the Lancer defense. Exactly. That's something as a coach, we get those rollouts to the opposite side of the ball. It's always a little nerve-wracking. You almost want to say, hey, 3rd and inches, maybe just go ahead and try and get it yourself. Stick your nose down, maybe pick up a yard or two, find some green grass going that way, as it'll bring up 4th and inches for the Hornets. Man in motion to the right side with a new fullback. That's number 12. That is Nolan Eisenbeis, and he is going to pick up a first down for Crystal City, as the Lancers now looks to have subbed several players, maybe the entire 11-man roster. Looks like the entire defense. Well, no, I can still see Smith out there. Smith probably is like, hey, I want to play. I want to hit somebody. But yeah, again, you're trying to rotate your guys in. There might be something that they want to make adjustments, talk about some different things. Yeah. And that's what you got to do. Yeah. So that'll bring up a 1st and 10 at about the 13, 14-yard line for the Hornets. Now we have a man in motion. QB drops a little bit, but he stays on his feet, and he's going to break away to the outside. And he is number 3, Kyle Schaumburg, going to pick up the touchdown for Crystal City. A little botch snap, picks it up, doesn't worry, has time, finds the outside route, and scores. So that will bring Crystal City back to the 40-yard line. And so Crystal City will have just a few plays left before we will switch between Crystal City going on defense and St. Pius going on offense. St. Pius has a variety of JV players in. Crystal City going back to the line. Schaumburg under center. Man in motion going to the right side. It's going to be a fullback give. Going to be stopped on the play, looks like by number 51. That is Juan Reyes, a freshman for St. Pius. Good for no gain. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Hornets.
As the lights start to come on here.
Which might mess a little bit with the camera. We start to get a glare here and there. But we'll work through it. So while Crystal City gets the play call again, we want to thank all of the people that are viewing right now and all of the viewers that will come back to this free broadcast on our YouTube page. All the fans from Crystal City, Perryville, and St. Pius, as we have a designed rollout to the QB, Schaumburg.
Oh, he almost had it.
Almost. Pass was intended for number 7. That is Logan Gerhardt.
Boy, he's just a little bit too far on that.
Yep. Just out of his outstretched arms. That was a nice ball there by Schaumburg.
Yeah, if we're having we might have a little camera issues right now. We're getting it lined out. Hopefully everybody got a chance to see that.
Technology.
Yeah.
So definitely the pace of play is slowed down here when you have just a handful of subs for Crystal City. They're going to take their sweet time as they just now break the huddle for their next play. Schaumburg under center. Eisenbeis in the backfield. Man split out to the left. Motion going to the right side. That's number 17. Landon DeRouche with a nice gain. It's going to be a tackle by number 31, Brandon Shelp, the freshman, 5'10", defensive back. Good enough for a Crystal City first down.
It was a really good run right there. Good blocking, good run.
And I think if you're Crystal City, that's what you want. And I really think as they move forward throughout the year, you're going to see, they have the skill positions, and I like that their line, the blocking schemes that they've had, is we're going to have another fly sweep out to the left side. That's number 5 that's going to break away, and he's going to score. That is number 5, Cohen Compton, in on the score for Crystal City.
And number 17, Landon DeRouche, set up great right there with a great block to allow that to happen.
So that was looked like the last play for the Hornets on offense. And JV or not, I'm sure Dan Oliver and the rest of the Lancer staff, they're going to go look at this film or their huddle film afterwards and say, okay, where do we get beat at? What do we need to work on? What are some things that we need to improve on?
Right, and that's what, again, talk about jamborees and what they do for you. That's, you get a chance to see the stuff. You have things on film. So
Yep, definitely. So St. Pius, they're gonna take over on offense now at the Crystal City 40-yard line. So we have don't know if we're having some technical issues or not, but trying to get things zoomed in. As St. Pius will go back to the wishbone triple option. Crystal City snuffs that play out from the get-go. That's number 56, freshman Jacob Lovelace, and number 55, Seth Center, in on the stop for the Hornets for no gain. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Lancers. Smith tosses out to the right side. That's McGuckin. Nice little run, still on his feet. Nice pickup there for McGuckin. Stopped in the play by number 54. That is Luke Holdinghausen. And Holdinghausen is a player that Dan Fox has said that he's the most physical guy. He's their quote-unquote thumper on the team, and he's looking for Holdinghausen to make some big plays on the defensive side at linebacker. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 1 for St. Pius X. James Smith gets his play, calls the play in the huddle, breaks, goes under center. St. Pius in the wishbone formation. Now we have a little stoppage in play. Now they're set. A little QB sneak for James Smith. Good enough for a St. Pius first down. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Lancers at about the Crystal City 27-yard line. So St. Pius trying to dominate the inside run game, whether it's between the guards or maybe between the tackles. We have a botched snap here. It's going to be handed off to Dabrian Moss, still on his feet, cuts back. He's going to keep going, still on his feet. Finally brought down at the 10-yard line by, it looks like, number 34. That is Kane Wigfall. First time that we've heard him this evening. Nice little run there by Dabrian Moss.
Yeah, especially after the fumbled snap right there to be able to pick it up, and then, hey, kept his feet moving. Nice little cutback. Carried a couple guys. That's what you want to see.
And we said at the beginning of the broadcast, this being the Jamboree, and we're probably going to see some mistakes. I'm actually happy with the way things have gone. We haven't really seen that many flags. Hopefully that's going to be a continuation going into week 1 when things really matter. Haven't really seen too much in terms of fumbles and strips and interceptions, things like that, as we have a nice gain up the right side. That'll bring up a 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line for the Lancers.
Good run there by Nolan Sipple. He got some good blocking. Crystal City still, though, I got to say I'm very impressed with, I saw them last year. I thought that, I'm like, boy, I'll tell you what, these guys aren't bad. Their record is definitely deceiving, and they're doing a great job. They have a mixture of experience and youth that they're playing with.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, you start to see some of these guys grow up as we have a fake toss right, pass right back to the left-hand side, was intended for, it looked like, number 4 for the Lancers. That's Matt Mariani. Smith just overthrew him.
Yeah, just a little bit too far, and the ball ended up going out of the end zone, out of the back of the end zone.
Well, that's credit to Crystal City. They were kind of bringing some pressure there, not fooled so much on the fake toss, coming back, fake toss to the right, coming back to the left side. That's the first type of play that we've seen from the Lancers this evening as they stay in the wishbone formation as we have a fumbled snap, and that looks like it's going to be recovered by Crystal City. That's exactly what you want with Dan Fox's boys here. That, hey, St. Pius was goal inside the 10, and they cough it up, and St. Pius going all the way back to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and you could see James Smith kind of wiping his hands on his jersey. The ball probably slipped out of his hands as the dew's starting to fall. But at the same time, you could see that he was already halfway into the play before he even had the ball, and you got to get the ball in your hands before you can do that.
Yep, exactly. And that's why you have these jamborees, to work on this type of center to quarterback snap exchange and how to line up properly, snap counts. You're going to go on multiple different type of counts, motions, all of that. So it's good for all of these teams to try and get these fumbles out of their system before they move into week 1. So we have a Smith drops back to pass, looks right, looks left. It's going to go right over the middle. That's going to be pass intended for Dabrian Moss. Going to be broken up by, I believe, number 8. That is Camden Mays.
It was a good play by Mays right there because, Dabrian's come up with a couple big catches in his life, and had a nice catch earlier on a ball that was tossed up there, and for him to get up there and break that up with Moss is a big play.
You just see this, at least for me, the skill and athletic play of Crystal City is standing out.
Absolutely.
You think a Class 1 school with definitely less than 200 people in their enrollment, are they going to be able to compete against bigger schools, whether it's, sometimes 2, if not 3 times more enrollment? But, they're holding their own, and not only they're holding their own, they're doing extremely well this evening.
Well, you see what they did with Perryville. They were able to move the ball, run the ball, scored. And that's, again, talk about Class 1 against Class 4. Right now we've got Class 1 against what was Class 1 last year, could be Class 2 this year.
Exactly. So Smith, under center, back in the I formation, drops back to pass. Instead it's going to be a draw to McGuckin. Gets a nice stiff arm. Lane with a nice lead block. McGuckin's going to step out of bounds, looks inside the 30, but it will be good enough for a St. Pius Lancer first down.
Yeah, McGuckin could have got probably a few more yards, but he happened to step out on the sideline. He had some good blocks ahead of him, but again, first game action right here, and that was a nice draw play. He already made 1 or 2 guys miss in the backfield, so good play call right there by the Lancers.
Exactly. Yep. Crystal City had kind of been sitting on the fullback and halfback dives, and after that, nice little draw play as we go back to the I formation. 2 receivers out to the right side, 1 out to the left. Smith's going to roll out to the right side, going to keep it, still on his feet, and then they're going to go ahead and blow it dead. That's going to be a sack on the quarterback for Crystal City. It looks like number 14 was one of them. That is Cale Schomburg. And then there was another one, I believe, 54, and that was Holdinghausen.
Yeah, I don't think that was exactly a design keeper play for the quarterback. Good coverage out there for the Hornets, and Smith had nowhere to go with the ball.
And so I think by this point in the Jamboree, you see whether, Perryville had their 2 games, and now Crystal City, St. Pius getting ready to wrap up their 2 games. There are some things that all 3 teams are going to have to work on going forward before they have their opening Week 1 matchups next week.
Right now, number 23, Justin Lane in the backfield, and he got the ball.
Lane with a nice fullback dive, good enough for 15-plus yards. That'll bring up 3rd and inches, and we talked about shoes that he has to fill, and Nate Rubles up at Northern Illinois, and that's exactly what you want for the sophomore fullback.
Fullback/linebacker. He's a big old boy, and I'll tell you what, talk about a kid who's committed to the weight room, and he just lives in there, and he's gotten so much bigger just on those things that what he does in there.
Smith fakes the handoff to the right side, goes back to the left, rolls out. Pass was intended, looked like, for Drew Merciel, maybe. We'll get a number check. Instead, it was broken up by Crystal City. Man, he was just right there for the Lancers, just couldn't come up with that touchdown.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of contact right there as the ball got to him. It was good defensive coverage, all things considered, and that was a great throw by Smith. That's what you want, especially, again, rolling to your left, throwing in your right-handed.
So we'll see here as that's going to bring up a 4th and we'll call it 1.5 or 2 for St. Pius the 10th.
If we were at St. Vincent, it would be a 2.
Or 3.
Or a 3. Coach Valroy is watching. He would love it. And there'd be a couple flags coming.
Exactly. Hey, Coach Valroy allowed us last year to come down and actually broadcast the game, and he helped us out with it, and it was an excellent time to have him. We have a rollout past James Smith. It's going to be caught just shy of the goal line. And Chris, you're going to have to help me with that number. I think that's Connor Hamilton.
I think you're right.
On the catch.
I think you're right.
We can't see these numbers at all anymore. The gold and white outline. We're going to have to talk to somebody about these uniform decisions. No, I'm playing. No, we have new uniforms here for St. Pius X that they're excited about. Just tough to see at times as Dabrian Moss is going to punch it in and get himself another touchdown this evening.
Yeah, good run right there, and just good physical football by the Lancers to punch that one in.
So with that play, looks like St. Pius is going to sub in their junior varsity, and looks like we might have a third quarterback for the Lancers this evening. I believe that's number 9, Danny DeGear, going to check in a quarterback for his first action of the season.
Danny DeGear, who was at Crystal City Middle School last year.
That is correct.
There's a couple other kids, I believe, who were at Crystal City. So, again, talk about rivalry games. I'm sure both schools wish that they were playing in the same conference instead of Crystal City being independent. But at the same time, these are those kind of little interactions between those kids who know each other.
Mm-hmm. As DeGear under center, fullback formation, wishbone formation, is going to hand it off. It looks like to number 21. That is Xander Hale. Going to pick up about 6 yards on the carry.
It's brought down by number 75, Matt Benz, defensive lineman, getting in there and making a play on the running back. D linemen love hitting running backs.
Oh, yeah. So that'll be 2nd and 5 here for the St. Pius Lancers junior varsity players in right now for some action.
And you see some of the varsity players for Crystal, their main starters. They're also on the sideline now. So again, getting kids time, Jamboree, practice time.
Trying to find some depth as we're going to have a rollout fumble. And I think it is going to be picked up. It looked from up here that the Lancers are going to retain possession, but 34 looks like he comes up with it for the Hornets.
It's Kane Wigfall.
Yep.
He came up with it.
Yep.
I'm not sure if they ruled that the ball was finally down. It seemed like that play took a long time for someone to fall on the football. You talk about watching film and what coaches are going to say. It's like, hey, that ball is live. Why aren't you on it?
Yeah, exactly. And
both coaches are going to have both staffs are going to have that conversation.
So it did look like he picked it up. So it was a turnover for the Hornets. So as St. Pius will take over 1st and 10 at the Crystal City 40-yard line. Still in the wishbone formation. DeGear under center. Takes the snap. He's going to go ahead and keep it himself. A little botched play there. Looked like he was looking for the fullback. Fullback was not there. And that's what's going to happen here at the JV level. And that's why we have JV snaps during these varsity jamborees, so they get some action themselves, knock off a little nerves, rust, whatever you want to call it, going forward.
Yeah, and they're wanting to get out there and show what they can do too, and prove that they have the opportunity to not just stand on the sidelines and get water, but to actually be out there making plays.
Well, and we talk about depth at the small school level. If you can go out and shine and put something positive on film, maybe that's going to be something that the coaches look forward to down the road. There might be an injury down at the week 6, 7, 8, maybe down in the playoffs. And hey, this freshman or sophomore that's had a season of JV under their belt, maybe they can work up that depth chart, that varsity depth chart, and become reliable. As we have a play action pass to the right side. Pass was intended for number 12. That's Nehemiah Colton, and just goes over his outstretched arms.
Yeah, it looked like DeGear kind of reared back and tried to throw it, and it just kind of got away from him.
Yep, and with that, it looks like that was the last play of the game, as both the Hornets and Lancers are starting to shake everything up. And Chris Miller, what do you think? What were some of your takeaways tonight for our event, our broadcast event here of the Friday Night Lights, the Between the Lines broadcast at the St. Pius X hosted Jamboree between the Lancers, Hornets, and Pirates?
Well, I think, again, you talk about some of the stuff. I think that there's a lot of positives for all three teams. I think Perryville has a lot of their underclassmen who obviously who can make plays and have the opportunity to play up on the varsity. I know watching Crystal City, mixing what they have coming back from last year's team with the good freshmen that are coming in. I know that Coach Fox has got to be pretty excited about that. And I don't think you have to worry about sleeping on them. I think they're going to be a competitive team with their schedule, and they're going to be tough for whatever district they end up in. Exactly. And then for the home Lancers, I think there's a lot of really good things that they can build off of. And again, we don't know what plays the coaches have put in there and what they threw out and what kind of stuff they're going to show. And I'm sure there's going to be wrinkles here and there that they add as right. the weeks go on. But right. Again, this is what Jamborees are about, and it's the big positive for even having them. So I think all three teams probably looking. There's stuff they're going to have to fix, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of positives to build on.
Whatever it was fun tonight. I mean, just to be out here, school starting, the boys of fall, they're getting ready, they're getting amped up for week one, and I got to tell you, next week we're going to have some really, really good matchups at the high school level. Whether it's a small school level, whether it's going to be at the large school level. But there are going to be several matchups next week that are going to be fun to be a part of locally. But right now, as we kind of go forward, I don't know, some of my takeaways, both positive and negative, or we won't call it negative, but things to work on. Some line play, I would say, for Perryville. They're going to have to kind of work on some things. Now, the fact that they have some dynamic underclassmen is just phenomenal to watch. Crystal City, they really impressed me. Like I said, first time that I ever had a chance to watch them, they were fun, and not because I went there, but just not knowing what to expect with only having 20 or so guys on their roster. I mean, it was fun to watch. And then for St. Pius, I'm going to say, I would be willing to guess that the coaching staff and Dan Oliver, they liked what they saw tonight, but they probably were not satisfied with having so many seniors coming back. And to me, the thing that really stuck out in my mind is going to be one on offense, ball security, handling the center QB snap exchange, and then defensively not letting guys get behind you.
Yeah, and that's what you can't let happen when you're talking about your secondary. But I'm going to say that while they're all looking at positives, the film, there's going to be stuff that gets picked apart by the coaching staff, and that's what you want your coaches to do and coach the kids up, and it's that's what it's all about.
Exactly. So I think a very productive jamboree for all of these opponents, and we'll hear and we'll try and get some access to some of the other coaches and teams and programs about their jamboree that they had for our upcoming show this next week of the Coach's Box, because it's going to be the football extravaganza episode. I don't know, we're working on a title, but it is going to be the pigskin preview or something. We'll come up with something. We're going to talk about high school football. We're going to talk about college football. We're going to talk about NFL. It is going to be the football episode on the Coach's Box next week. But besides that, Coach Miller, if you want to tell all of the viewers once again for another shot at free Cardinal tickets, all you have to do is what?
All you have to do is scan the code, the QR code. If you like our Facebook page, if you go and find the Coach's Box Facebook page, we have several links out there that you can just go ahead and click on the link so you can enter to win. And once you put your information in, your name, email, phone number, so if you do win, we can get a hold of you, then it's going to take you to your entries, and you get 5 entries for the tickets. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the very least thing you have to do, and it's all free, then you can subscribe to our Apple Podcasts channel, and that's free as well. That'll get you some entries. You follow us on Twitter, that'll get you some entries. So again, if these are 2 all-inclusive tickets for the September 13th game.
And when you say all-inclusive, we're talking about and air conditioning, all the food you can eat, all the beverages you can drink, and it is.
Oh, it's
seats.
Cardinals rooftop.
Yes.
So I mean, your ballpark village. These are some good tickets. And again, hey, division race is heating up. So I mean, if you haven't already, you need to get in there and do it. And not only that, tune into our show this week, and again, it's a lot of fun. We'll have more stuff there. We'll be talking about, like Zac said. So appreciate you guys, being a part of this, and hopefully we can get a chance to do a couple more games this year. And again, like all the kids just did, we'll work out any of our kinks.
There were a lot.
There's a few. Yeah, there's a couple out there. But again, thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of this.
And thank you to not only St. Pius, but to Crystal City
Absolutely.
and Perryville. Hopefully we got some of their viewers and their fans and their families and their communities tuning in. And if they didn't get a chance this evening, hopefully maybe this weekend, next week, or on down the line, because you can visit our YouTube channel and it's always going to be up there, and there's no paywall, and you can go back, tell your grandma, tell your grandpa and uncle, whoever the case may be, they can watch it anytime they want.
Yep, it's all there for free, like Zac said. So whenever you feel like it, you can just pull it up and watch it, and pay. If your kid played in this tonight, you can tell them what they did wrong. But for Zac McVey and everybody who's helped us here with Off the Rails Media, appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you guys next week on the Coach's Box.